That was a great introduction. That was really good.
Yay! But this is your fucking podcast, so you're doing the introduction. Thank you.
1 hour of sleep today. 1 hour of sleep. All right. Actually, you know what? That's I'm going to go.
Yep.
Hey, guys. Welcome back to Mac Life Podcasting. I might be a little sluggish today because I did not get a lot of sleep last night. Actually was up working on a lot of content pretty late and then had to get up and get to work quite early this morning. Somebody's got to do it. It is what it is. But I have Monica here joining us today.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm tired as well.
Yeah?
Very tired. I'm excited to be here. Happy that we're finally doing this.
I'm like tired, excited too.
Yeah.
But no, I'm actually very happy to dig into this. We actually launched our first video yesterday and got a ton of responses and a lot of people that came back at it. So I kind of was excited to meet with you today because I knew that you and I would be getting into the more emotional, nitty-gritty kind of side of actual traumas, responses, dating, stuff like that, where yesterday the podcast that was launched was more or less, you know, shooting the shit around the yard kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was a good opening. It was definitely a good opening. I enjoyed it. It was funny.
Yeah,
there was a couple parts where I was giggling.
Yeah,
so that was nice.
It was definitely put out there just to have fun, and obviously it was New Year's Eve, so we were kind of, you know, having a few.
This season.
Yeah, having a few drinks, so loosened it up pretty good. So, what would be like your starting subject you'd like to open this up with?
Well, when I was watching the podcast, you guys were talking about New Year's resolutions.
Okay.
And kudos to you for wanting to quit smoking.
Thank you.
I think that's great. That's going to be really hard, so I wish you the best of luck with that.
Yeah.
But moving that further, New Year's resolutions as far as dating and relationships. What's your motto going into 2024?
Well, I mean, a big one for me is to stop wasting so much time. So I guess for the last 9 months, I've been kind of off the rails. So a lot of it was learning and getting out there, getting experience in what it is that I was doing, and like, which was all okay. I mean, everything's got a learning curve to it.
That's just not a thing anymore?
Not
apparently.
really.
Like,
not
we're
really.
going to go out with this person, we're going to meet this person. And, you know, I've been on the apps and, you know, spoke to people, and some of the first things that they say is, you want to come over to my house and watch a movie?
Yeah, you know, I mean,
I don't even know who you are. I've talked to you for 5 minutes. I appreciate that you know, like the way that I look and you want to get to know me. Not on your couch for the first time I meet you.
Yeah, I mean,
are you guilty of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I am. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's because I just very bashful about it. I'm not really, I would say for a man, it's a lot different than it is for a woman. I mean, it's easy for us to just go meet up with a woman very quickly. I mean, I'm not worried about things happening from a woman. I mean, worst thing I'm worried about is just getting there and absolutely being totally disgusted with it and then leaving, or like hating the situation. Yeah, or disappointed or whatever.
Right.
That's probably my worst fear. Other than that, I don't really have one. As far as for like women, they have a lot more they have to worry about. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
So I get it where, you know, there's definitely a lot of women take pride in not needing a man and all that. But I guess my opinion on it is you have men, you have women. There's a reason that there's men and there's women.
Right.
You know, we're built differently, you know, so it's like, I don't think that there's anything wrong. I mean, in my particular, I mean, this is just my opinion, is that I have zero shame in needing a woman for things. You know what I mean? Like,
do you need a woman or do you want?
I mean, obviously, I don't need a woman. I'm not going to die if I don't have one. Obviously, I'm doing just fine on my own. But if I want to actually be truly happy, yeah, it's kind of a need. I mean, people need people.
Yeah,
you know,
you're in a different situation than a lot of people our age. You have no kids and you've never been married.
Yeah, I know.
You are that unicorn.
Yeah, desperately want to have a family of my own. Desperately. Definitely looking for the white picket fence life and, you know, that fairy tale. That's what I'm looking for.
Like the Disney movies?
I mean, I'm not going to go as, you know, PG-13, but, you know, yeah, I guess the Hallmark. Looking for the Hallmark.
And we're looking for that on the dating websites and the apps and everything.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
that happens a lot.
Can you deal with rejection though? Some
I-
people can't.
I've learned to get good at rejection. I've learned to also get good at rejecting. So I've had to play both ends quite a bit, actually.
Okay.
In today's dating world, I think I've had to get better at rejecting.
Okay. I got a question.
you
Thought
do.
I was so beautiful, and now I'm not.
It sounds like somebody who has childhood traumas for sure growing up, and they were spoiled rotten, and they just want what they want when they want it. You know what I mean? And it's like, I mean, I can't speak on their behalf for that, but if that were the case in my situation, I mean, it would just be like, respectfully, you know what you want.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with knowing what you want and going after it, because there's so many people in this world that just like have no idea what they want. I mean, like, honestly, even in my situation, knowing what I want, I still am lost, trying to figure out what's the best way to get there, because it's a whole new journey for me. It's a whole new chapter.
It's
So
you
yeah.
have to like learn all over again.
Yeah.
When I was single and I went out on a couple dates, I just was like, oh my goodness.
Oh, it's not what it used to be. See, when I was younger, so I'm gonna say from the ages of, I mean, you know, I started with girls at a young age, but we'll say, all right, we're not gonna do the beginning age, but we're gonna say up until I was like 18, 19 years old, and I got in a serious relationship.
That young?
Yeah. And I went to work immediately. I was like trying to build like a family life and shit with this person. And I worked my ass off really hard to try to do the best that I could. And at the time when I met this girl, she was beautiful. And she was going to college. She had a lot of things going on. And I didn't have shit at the time. So it's like I had like nothing. And I remember just trying to like fake it till I made it. Like I was going every day, doing everything that I could, working my ass off to try to be the best that I could be. And it motivated me. It motivated me to be the best that I could be. It motivated me to go out there and work 12 hours in the cold and freeze my ass off and bust my knuckles open. And I did it until I made it.
What made you want to do that? Was it the motivation from the woman that you were with? Because it gave you that like sense of, okay, family, motivation, I'm going to be a man, I'm going to provide, or is that something that's just been a part of you? Like,
you know,
because that'll trickle into like how your significant other can play either a super positive role or also a super negative role, because the person that you were with could have been like, you're only working 9 to 5 and then coming home. You're not stopping at the store to pick up extra car parts.
I mean, if you back that up a little bit, I mean, that could go one of two ways. So like some people in this world thrive in a relationship. I'm one of those people. I thrive. You know, I've kind of like floundered since I've been out of the relationships, and not really. I mean, I already made it, so it's not like I'm floundering, but I'm just like not normal. Let's take over the world today. What can I do different? How can I solve these problems? Me. You know what I mean? So when I'm in a relationship, I definitely thrive in one. But on top of that, people will call that where you're relying on another person. But it really depends on how you look at it. Like, I have a friend of mine. He knows who he is. He's a counselor, psychiatrist guy, one of my best friends.
Okay.
And him and I talk about it all the time. And, you know, we go back and forth. It's like there really are some people that just are made to be in a relationship. That's what they want. I'm one of those people. He's one of those people. We tried the single thing together. Oh, yeah. We had a summer together where we were out. Both of us just out of super serious relationships. His, I think at the time, was 9 years. Oof. And mine at that time, was like 6 years. It was either 5 or 6 years. And we had this summer, and we thought, this is going to be awesome. We're going to go out. We're going to do all these things. And all that bachelor life definitely does happen and all those crazy things. But you get that out of your system real quick, and you realize really fast what you're looking for. And it's like, right. I'm looking for that person that I could actually, you know, that I want to buy flowers for on the way home, that I'm looking forward to waking up every day for the rest of my life next to. And
why is that so, like, not a thing anymore?
If I knew the answer to that question, I'd be fixing it right now.
I can't even tell you that the last time, I mean, maybe this is a reflection of me. I'm so open-minded and humble, but, like, I can't even tell you the last time that a man bought me flowers because he didn't mess up.
I literally was on a date maybe a week ago or so and bought that girl flowers. So it's like...
Was she mind blown?
She actually really valued them. Like, they didn't just get tossed. Like, she was like, yo, I need this. I need the water. I need to take, like, she wanted to take that shit home and, like, make sure it was good. And I was like, all right, that's cool. I guess what I have noticed through this is that women definitely appreciate the things that I do for them way more than I would have thought that they would have.
And it's the little things.
Yeah, it is. I was, like I said, I was in another relationship, and I'm used to things one way. And then you get out there and you start realizing how much that you bring to the table for somebody else and how much that they appreciate that. But I, unfortunately, just haven't found what I'm looking for yet. So it's difficult. It's really complicated.
Thank you.
Guys take that stuff really, really seriously, like I do.
He wasn't offended by it, though. It was like, oh, okay, I got something back for you. And instantly, I was like, I like this man.
Yeah, I mean, guys who are into cars, into trucks, and like, a lot of people don't understand that when you put your heart and soul, like, that vehicle that you're driving is literally an extension of who you are. And some people don't understand that. So, I can't stand shit talkers, and I get them everywhere. Like, I take my car out. I know how fast my car is. I know what the horsepower is. I know what it's built to do. I know cars out there.
Would you consider your car to be what they call in Borat a pussy magnet?
Yeah, for girls with daddy issues. I am by being dumb, you know what I mean?
Right.
And fucking I worked my ass off to get to where I was at. And that's the thing, is that this society is filled with so many people that are actually lazy and live at home with their parents, and they don't want to work and they don't put anything into it. And then they get mommy to co-sign for them to go get a vehicle, and they drive a new, Charger that they just picked up off the lot on
And
someone
then they
else's
crash
credit.
it.
Well, it's not even the crash it part. It's just they fake it till they make it. They act like they're something they're not. Then they're out there, being the bad boy, and they're picking up the girls with daddy issues and problems and damages and traumas and, trauma bonds. And, there's so much of it out there. I mean, think of it at our age now. Okay, so I'm 34 years old. How old are you now?
31.
Okay, so we have been through the 1-2 relationships now. We'll just say, how many serious relationships have you had?
3.
3. Okay, I've had 2. And you get to this point where it's like you've been through the ringer already. So when you hit this age, it's like really, a lot of people, you're either one of two people. You're either carrying that trauma and that toxicity with you because you refuse to heal from it, and you just keep masking it continuously, going out, drinking, parties, friends, this, that, whatever it is, or you have healed from it, learned from it, realized the mistakes that was made from it, grown from it. And now the problem is that because you're healed and you're trying to move on, and you're trying to find someone else, you're expecting to find another secure, healed person. Yeah. And it's like next to impossible because you're finding so many trauma-ridden, totally toxic people that they don't even know the first clue.
No, and to branch off of that, I think the proper word is accountability to use, where you can sit back and say, you know what, I stayed in that relationship too long, or, oh, I messed up, or, oh, I really hurt them, and I made these choices. I made my bed, and now I have to lay in it. Not, oh, he was verbally abusive, he was physically abusive, he was mean and nasty. Because you were a total peach.
Yeah. And
tests. I don't even know what a test would be.
It is a thing, man. You're gonna naturally test people.
That's
naturally.
wrong, though. You shouldn't do that to people.
Though?
You set them up for failure, and you set yourself up for failure.
Is it? What's the difference between that and boundaries?
Well, I'm not gonna text him first. I'm gonna see if he texts me first. No, if you want to talk to that man, send him that text message.
I don't believe in that stuff. Like that's like childish shit. Like, if you want to text somebody, pick up the phone and text them. I'm so sick of these rules and games and all this stuff that everybody's got to play and all. Yeah, I've been through it. I went through that. That was probably some of the toughest shit I had to go through, was that the games and the back and forth and the law of attraction and to attract what it is that you're looking for instead of repulsing it, and how it's like the number one thing of attraction is scarcity.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I could go into this very deeply, and it's like it's pretty screwed up, like everything that you would think about in a relationship. So here's a good touch base on that subject. So everyone knows, the second that you start talking to your friends about your relationship and your family, your relationship is now done, because you can't go back from that.
Depending on what type of friends you have, because boy, oh boy, have I had some friends where
that better be your best friend for like 3,000 years, and you just better be able to trust that person with your life. Like, if they're not the godparent of your kids.
Can I do a shout out to Tammy?
Absolutely.
Shout out to Tammy for seeing the good, the bad, and the ugly literally all of in between. And that woman has, I can't even explain to you the things that she has seen me go through, been through, dealt with. I have never met anybody even remotely close to her in my life.
Awesome. You know what? It is such a good thing to have good friends. It really is. I don't know where I'd be today if it wasn't for mine. The shout out I could give to my friends. You guys know who you are.
I feel like that's a big green flag for me when I am looking for a significant other. Are you able to hold relationships with other people that aren't like intimate? Like you don't have kids, and if I was trying to talk to you, I would be like, what's your friend group like? How long have you had these friends for?
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, that definitely is a good sign to see, you know, whether or not, I mean, I guess it's a good judgment call. Everybody's different. Some people just don't want to be bothered by a lot of people. They're introverts, and other people are extroverts.
Right.
But I do want to double back to where I was with that subject of where when you're in a relationship and the man, we'll just say the man or the woman, whoever has the anxious attachment style.
Okay.
That's really what this comes down to. So you have three different attachment styles. You have anxious, you have avoidant, and then you have, there's actually four. You have fearful and you have secure.
Okay.
So depending, you know, a healthy relationship start is two secure attachment styles getting together. That's not usually how that works. So usually you'll get a avoidant that will go after an anxious, and the anxious will chase after the avoidant. The avoidant's looking for love. So they go with it. It's firecrackers at first. Everything's great. And then down the road, problems happen. You'll have secure attachment styles, the one that will attract all of them. And usually what will happen is if it's a good relationship, so it's okay to be in an anxious or a fearful or whatever it may be, because you may get with a secure attachment style, and you may mirror them. You know,
I can
so
see that.
you could be, you know, become secure, or it could go the other way.
Right, you could bring somebody else down.
Yes, and you know, so people can learn in and out of that depending on what stages that you actually are inside of your relationship. So,
Feel if you met somebody and they were like, you know, I don't really have like that much of a college education, but I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to get married. I want to have my babies. Because, I mean, there's women out there still that are, you know, our age that want to do that, but it's frowned upon now because women are supposed to be independent.
I mean, personally,
Would you be okay with that?
I would fucking love that. Personally. Like,
Okay, so we have Steve over here that has no kids, never been married, and he is willing to have a stay-at-home.
yeah, if I don't trust her right off the bat, if there's not respect right off the bat, there's not communication, she's never going to get the chance to even be my girlfriend anyway.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to get in an unhealthy relationship. I'm not going to get tied up with somebody that, you know, trust is huge. Trust is huge. I used to have major insecurities. And it's because the trust wasn't there where it needed to be.
Okay.
So I had my reasons. And the thing is that you get trauma bonded to this person. Mm-hmm. So even though that you have your reasons for not being in this relationship or why, you know, you won't leave the relationship. So then you just stick in this toxic relationship for this amount of time. It shouldn't be like that. Like moving forward, healing, learning, seeing these things from a different end of it. It's like when you're in it, just lack of better terms, a narcissistic relationship, it is extremely terrible and hard to get out of. And I'm going to say that went both ways in my relationship. There were times where I was a narcissist. You wouldn't even realize it. Like it happens. It's like you're mirroring the image. And once that toxicity gets going,
the other person becomes an emotional blood-sucking vampire and takes everything out of you.
But you do too. And that's the thing. It's like
You're
you
not
can
wrong.
too. Not all relationships. I think I'm just speaking based on mine. Like I said, there was a bunch of major mistakes, and by the time that I realized what they were and when trying to fix them, it was already too late. And there was damages that was done on the other side that were irreversible. You just can't. You couldn't come back from it. So that's just the end of it.
There's some people like that though, where they just cannot get over things, which is okay, to each their own. There's some people that cannot get past certain things that have happened, and
they need to put the work in.
Yeah, but people don't want to. It's easier to throw them away and start over.
I put the work in. I locked myself up in this house for 17 days. I didn't leave, and I worked on myself. 17 days, no nothing.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah, like I did what it took. I did what I had to do. And I know it's like from an outside source, you look at like my social media profiles, you look at my Snapchat, my Facebook, it looks like I'm out
Having fun.
partying it up like crazy. Well, I'm going to just give you all a really good secret here. That is not really what was going on behind the scenes. I just didn't want it to, I don't know. It's just, it's a persona.
You didn't want to look weak.
Yeah, it's a persona. It was just
Can't
a
blame
persona.
you for that.
Yeah. But no, secretly behind the scenes, I was putting in the work. I was going to counseling. I was getting the help that I needed, reading the books,
Yes,
watching
reading
thousands
books
of hours of videos,
Oh my gosh.
talking to constant people. I mean,
Yep. Again, shout out to Tammy for our 6-hour-long conversations.
shout out to
about-
my friend Brandon.
Right, about how...
After journey, this was like, I literally have been in like retraining, reprogramming for the last 9 months. And it's like, to some people, because everything is perception, I look like the bad guy. And that's fine. That's okay. You can't make everybody happy. That's perfectly fine.
Right.
I have no problem being the bad guy.
No,
I don't take advice from somebody who trade places. I mean, like, don't go out and take that huge ass loan on something you can't afford.
Right.
Don't go out there and live beyond your means. Save your money. Invest wisely. Like, that's why when I walk up to people, I'll use the expression, take advice from someone you would trade places with, because I'll look at them and be like, I'm sure you'd much rather be like me and not in debt and not have any of these issues and have what you want and do what you want when you want to do it, instead of struggling and working your ass off all the time to pay back all these credit cards. Like, just for the record, I've never had a credit card my entire life.
I have one.
Like, I still have like a 813 credit score, but like, never used a credit card ever, not one time. So everything was like through mortgages and car loans and business deals and shit like that. Yeah. Or like personal loans and stuff. So that's how I built myself up from there. Now, nothing, no debt. I mean, it's just the way to be. Debt is overrated. But yet again, you're going to want to listen to someone who's actually doing it versus someone who's in debt up to their eyeballs trying to give you advice. So I guess that's probably the best way to put that statement.
Well, do you feel like easily influenced
Me?
by others?
No.
Okay. That's a good trait to have then, too.
Yeah, no. Actually, I resist a lot of things.
I was definitely guilty of that for some time in my life. I would go talk to my friends and they would say, oh, blah, 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 don't do that, don't do this, do that. And then I would do it, and then I would be like, oh, boy, this is not good. This situation is not good.
Huge thing that I had to learn, because I'm not going to lie, I made this mistake in my relationships. So, like...
Talking poorly about your significant other to other people?
Yeah, like, I literally specifically sit here and picture the face that was made towards me and the anger and saying things. So it's like, if I just listened a little bit more sometimes and gave... But you know what? It's all water under the bridge. You live, you learn. Life is a lesson. And I'll never make that mistake again.
Yeah.
But...
You could really hurt someone's feelings, too.
It's not even just that. You damage a relationship between this person and this person.
Yeah.
Because now they know the dirty laundry, and they'll never forget it.
Yep.
So no matter how great this person is or what they try to do to fix it or whatever it is in that relationship, this person will always look at that person for doing that. And now you just damage a relationship between, we'll just say, you did it with your mother, or you did it with your best friend.
Oof, you never do it with the parents.
And that's the thing, is that once you do that, it is what it is. And it's like, that was a huge lesson that I had to learn. Like I said, never make that mistake again. My relationship would stay 1,000% private from now on. So, as a matter of fact, all dirty laundry, pretty much everything that I'm going to be doing and whatever relationship that I get into, I want it to be private. I'm not the happiness, not like, I'm not saying like PDA, but I'm just saying like any business, anything that we're doing, whatever it is that we talk about, it stays private. So I definitely fucked that up.
Yeah.
I definitely fucked that up. That was a big mistake.
At one point, I was doing the same thing, but I felt like I had almost nobody else to talk to. I felt like, as far as trying to address things in my relationship, it was almost like a brick wall. And, I'm not making excuses or putting the blame on anybody else. Absolutely not. But I'm saying that I was guilty of going to my mom or going to my best friend and going, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe what happened. And what do I do? And look at this. And 9 times out of 10, I got the answer that I didn't want. You're better than that. Leave.
And that's
blah,
the thing.
blah, blah.
Once you alter them, now they're going to be biased continuously. Like they're just some things.
Yeah.
As I looked at taking a lot of dedication, a lot of work.
Yeah.
And then the question is, at the end of the day, is it worth it? Because is that person now? So let's say that you become enlightened on the toxic traits that you had, and you work on them, and you self-work on yourself to make yourself a better human being for yourself and for the people that are around you, but your partner doesn't. So I've dealt with this, and it's terrible.
Yep.
There's nothing you can do. And you have to deal with that. And it's like, it just gets to a point where it's like, you got to walk away. You know what I mean? You can't.
I mean,
if they don't grow with you, forget it.
Oh, yeah, that's a big thing for me, too. That is a huge thing. Ambition and growth. I cannot stay in the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
I can't work a 9 to 5, same pay. Like, I can't do that.
Some people just grow apart over time. And that's why I was telling you that you really never get to know somebody, because every day you never know when it could be different. And it's just a blessing. That's why it's like, I took being in relationships, like I was in 2 back to back. I'm going to be very clear that these people were fantastic. They were fantastic human beings.
Okay.
We grew apart. It is what it is. But at one time they were fantastic human beings. And I looked at this person higher than any other person on the planet.
Yeah.
And they meant more to me than anything else on the planet. So obviously, they must have been fantastic for some reason. You know what I mean? That's the thing that I really hate about when people break up. They just automatically are like, oh, he's an asshole, or she's an asshole, or she's a bitch, or it's this, that. At one time, that person was everything to you. And you need to remember that. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that has to be remembered, even though I'm angry at so many things. But that's what it was. One time, I love this person more than anything. We grew apart. It is what it is. This person made me genuinely happy. This person brought to the table the efforts, the energies, and what it took at that time. And sometimes it just comes down to timing. Sometimes people are just made to be in your life for a certain amount of time. They're just a stepping stone.
To teach you a lesson.
Teach you a lesson, get you to the next stage, and then, God's got a plan.
Yes.
He's got a plan, and He knows what's best.
It's in God's hands.
It is in God's hands. You know what I mean? So